In this video, I'm going to defeat Carnage Baal with a limited amount of pre-battle preparation, albeit only on 0 stars. I'm going to avoid making use of extra common ability slots from Carol World, an extra unique ability slot from Carnage Dark, leveled equipment, and Innocence. You might attempt this sort of thing if you're trying to reach Carnage Baal as fast as possible. However, that doesn't mean there isn't any grinding or farming required. I still need 185 Carnage Elixirs for a 2 billion HP curry, 1 main, 1 in each of the sub-slots, and another 182 in other. Also, it does still require that the attackers have their 20 million stats from farming extracts and mastering subclasses. However, these attackers are all intentionally generic units, which means that they can be generic monsters while mastering their subclasses, and you could make a change them onto someone such as, say, Christo. Now these 3 attackers are leading squads that each have 20 units in them and at least 225 prisoners. And this is for maximum squad attack power. And in the case of the foot soldier squad, this gives this one an extra 20% stats. Also, with Dark Assembly squad, this will help make it easier to pass any required bills. I'm using 3 squad attackers for this, 1 for squad attacking Baal itself, and 2 for squad attacking the bits, because the bits have more HP. The attackers I'm using are a Sage, a Valkyrie, and a Pirate, because of their unique abilities: Mass Blaster, Assault Attack, and Acceleration Shot. Now these 3 could be the same class, I'm just using all 3 for demonstration. Mass Blaster increases your damage based on how many targets you hit. I'll be hitting 4 at a time, so this will be plus 40% damage. Assault Attack increases damage the further you move. There is a bug to max this out easily, but I won't be needing that for this. But you might be able to cut down on some of the preparation if you did use that bug. And Acceleration Shot increases damage depending on how far away the target is. The nearest enemy won't take much extra damage, but will be taking more damage anyway because I'll be either back attacking or side attacking them. But the furthest away enemies will easily hit the cap of plus 200% damage from this. And other than that, they are using Impact Charge, which increases attack adjustment each time you get hit by a non-elemental attack. And this includes Baal's base panel attack. And I'll be going in and out of the base panel, healing each time to keep being hit to build this up. Purgatory increases critical damage, and Power Axe increases damage dealt when an X is equipped. This is not really a very good ability, it's just I'm basically limiting myself to 10 ability slots on the first row and 2 on the second row, though I'm not even using the second row here. And this just happened to be the best thing I could find to fit in there that didn't require Carol World. This is just a common ability of Warrior, I believe. Yeah, I'll be quick to the next anyway. And the reason I'm using an X is X's actually deal a bonus 15% critical damage. Instead of 1.5 times damage, they deal 1.65 times damage. Also, it's a weapon that only uses a single stat, so I only need a single buff spell. And otherwise, everyone is using things with high movement. X's also have the highest randomized max damage. Everyone else that I'm going to be using has just got a load of movement gear. Zeroken's got the actual gear from killing normal Baal, just so that he can teleport around to move a bit faster. And Christo has a staff equipped to increase spell range, which I'll explain in a minute. So Christo is being used partly for his overload, which gives everyone 100% accuracy for the turn. Also 100% evasion, but I won't need that. And I've also got Medical Insertion on him, which doubles the power of support spells. In this case, Braveheart, which at +4 reaches plus 50%, and doubled is the +1, which is the +100% cap. And he's also got Efficient Work, which lets you use an item in addition to taking your turn, which will be used with Licensed Caregiver, which expands the area of items to a plus shape. And this will allow him to use an SP recovery item on people without taking up his turn, so he can use the SP recovery item and buff. Also using Zeroken for his overload, which creates a bunch of copies of himself. And they're going to be making use mainly of Lovely Song for increased stats to allies, and Dark Song for increased stats to allies. I can't decrease the stats of enemies with this because they're immune to it on this map. This was Vacuum Lift for lifting from further away, because I'll be using Zeroken for lifting the attack geo symbols so I can move them all onto the same colour, but some of them are tricky to reach, so Vacuum Lift helps there. Also has Angel Song, increases attack adjustment of adjacent allies, so a couple of his shadows I'll be just putting near my attackers to make them stronger. I've got also those 2 spare shadows we'll be using filler items to fill up the bonus gauge for a reason I'll explain later. Also, I'll be making use of this squad for using an item from the base panel for the same reason, though I could just deploy an additional unit and have that unit use it. And the reason I want to fill the bonus gauge, I'm going to be magic changing Ninetales onto the units for good fortune, which gives them more stats the higher the bonus gauge is. Now you could use Azuna for this. I will also be magic changing bears onto them for Rage Charge, which works similarly to Impact Charge, increases attack adjustment when you get hit by attacks. Also, I'll be using the Receive mechanic, which is bouncing thrown items or thrown units off monsters' heads to help get geo symbols where I want them. And I also have a bunch of archers for support attack. And this will allow them to attack when another ally attacks something, and they'll all chain attacks off one another to help me build the combo chain. And at 20 or higher chain I get triple damage, which will help deal enough damage to actually kill the Baals on the bits. They of course have bows for the extra range and the flexibility, because guns only shoot in a straight line unless you equip the Flying Bullets ability. And I've also given them all the Indomitable Spread overload, which fully heals allies, which will allow my attackers to go back into the base panel and come out again and get re-damaged. Having Indomitable Spread on a bunch of units could potentially be replaced by having some maids with Licensed Caregiver and some more healing items, but that would mean needing even more units, and I'm cutting it a bit close as is. I've passed the all-out attack bill, which will allow me to deploy up to 20 units on this map, though I'm only going to be using 17 of them. And I think that covers everything, so I'll show the fight itself. That's all the units. All the attack symbols are now here to give me more attack adjustment. Again, I could just deploy an extra unit and have that unit use the item. To keep the X as an X, I will need dual magic link for this. All the attackers now have good fortune and rage charge. Anyway, I'm not ready for that yet. Healing up so I can leave the panel again. And this will build rage charge and impact charge. So last heal, or at least last overload heal. Now everyone needs SP because even with even in revenge mode, things still cost 1 SP, not 0. That's part 1 of Christo's job. Well, actually part 2 because it's already overloaded. So they're only at 130% with assault attack and 140% with rage charge, but that will be sufficient. Also, the bit attacker. Hang on, I've got them one way around. Doesn't actually matter that much, but the bit attackers are at only plus 60% stats here. The Baal attackers are plus 80% because of foot soldier squad, but this will suffice. Let's buff them. And cue a bunch of attacks. A fair bit of attack adjustment and a surprising amount of damage adjustment. Damage adjustment on the bits doesn't actually show because, and I'll show in a minute, the balls all have an ability that protects their respective bits from damage, and when a unit is immune to damage, it doesn't show the damage adjustment, which is why I squad attack the balls first. Also, the balls have much less HP than the bits, which is why I've got one attacker killing balls and two killing the bits. And I'm doing this from by the green one or the wind one, because this one has this ability which makes it take reduced damage if I'm too far away from it. Okay, this should win. And that is 0 star, Carnage Baal defeated with fairly little pre-battle preparation, though you might be able to cut down on it a bit further. We get a great Baal Horn. So this is a rank 40 sword with movement similar to item god rank 40s. It's got the range of sort of a medium tier bow. For what it's worth, it's got the critical of an axe, but only the critical chance, not the critical bonus damage. And you can get 100% critical rate via curry or via being in revenge mode anyway. But the most noteworthy thing is those stats are all around really high. I mean, that's actually low attack for a Carnage rank 40 sword, but with everything else being so high, this is one of the easiest items in the game to soft cap. But yeah, this is our reward, and hopefully people can pick up some ideas from this, and well, thank you for watching.